so excited. This is the first ever video I am doing like this, so I'm gonna need everyone to bear with me while I kind of learn and figure out how I enjoy vlogging and filming and all of the fun stuff. I'm currently recording on my DJI 3, which is why you saw me move. I've got it tracked to my face, which is very cool. And so I'm just so excited and I want to dive right in. One of my biggest YouTube goals is to really vlog how I enjoy consuming vlogs, if that makes sense. So I'm going to give you an example. I really love and I follow weekly Julia K. Christ and then All Things Lillian. I've got them linked, hopefully both here. Well, that's some post-editing production for us. But I really love their content. I love the way that they stage things, their resets, their just day in my life, all of the fun things. Like that to me is stuff that like I eat up. It's very digestible. Like that's just the stuff that I like to consume. And so as I'm a creator of my own and trying to figure out what I want to do with my content creation style, which on like TikTok and Instagram and stuff, it's pretty stable, but honestly more for my long form content like YouTube vlogging and, you know, week in my life, day in my life, stuff like that. But then also my long form blog, so Substack, and then also I just started the Byline. So for today, what we're going to be doing, and one of the things again that I love seeing other creators do are resets. So monthly resets. I am going to be resetting for August. I'm going to be very real with you guys. It is currently August 4th. I will say, to my own credit, I did record, at least screen record, a good bit of this stuff beforehand, but I haven't had the time to like sit down and like just talk to the camera like this. And again, this is all very new to me, so very nice. But I'm really excited because I want to go through a lot of how just like I organize my own calendars. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a full-time content creator. This is what I do. This is my 9 to 5 question mark. I don't really know. We're doing this all day, all night, and some days not really at all. And it's just kind of a fun mix and a fun bag of things. But what keeps me very grounded and very centered is my Notion board and my Canva board. Those like are my bread and butter. Anytime I'm looking for like what content I'm shooting, what I'm doing, when I'm posting, how I'm posting, where I'm posting, why I'm posting, it is on any of these two boards. And so I've actually taught classes in the past on Notion and how to like build it from scratch. I think that's something I also want to do on my YouTube and kind of get into that a little bit more because literally I am planning like my whole life on Notion. I'm planning my wedding on Notion. I have like, I keep up, this is really like small but very important for those who know. My TBR, my books list, all of those are on Notion. But I also really like actually kind of keeping up with life on Notion. So I have a month by month breakdown on Notion and I just go do my little notes in there. And so like, for example, I've just finished up July's notes and I just try to record the small things of like, I did this today, or this happened today, or a huge brand deal happened, or someone gave birth, or like even just like it can be anything like content or personal, like, you know, business, personal related, all the fun things, like big milestones. I can't remember. I just went up in weightlifting. I don't remember if it was in August or July. I'm going to go back and double check, but that's something that would make it. I'm up on my legs and my arms, like, woo, great. And so I really love doing that and using Notion for that. But last July, after I'd quit my job back in May, I started getting a little bit more serious on Notion because I really wanted to build a whole project management system. 1, to learn how to do it. 2, to say I knew how to do it. And 3, I thought that was like a great resume building thing. Like, you know, at the time I was looking for still full-time jobs and now I'm like, oh, no, this is it. But I really wanted to build something that was sustainable. I wanted it to be creative. I wanted it to be fun. And so I built this system as a way to just keep me grounded, keep myself going. I started integrating Canva, 1, because I wanted to really learn Canva last year. Everyone was using it. It's such a great tool to use. You pay for the pro, it's $15 a month. Like, to me, it is so worth it. I mean, honestly, for the transparent backgrounds alone, I think it's huge. But I do so much on Notion too. And what I really wanted to keep separate for my calendars that I make every month is I wanted a calendar, so on Notion, that's going to be my calendar that's going to have only my content. So this has like what's going where, why, how, and I can get into that a little bit more in depth. I don't want to spend too much time on it just because it's like a whole video in and of itself. But I also have Canva. So for Canva, I started using a calendar that was mainly and only for showcasing when I'm actually filming content. So whether it was invited events, paid collaborations, friend events, regular events, like all these things, I wanted to have another calendar that showed when I was doing things, why I was doing things, where I was doing things, so that as I'm planning out my content calendar, if I ever have like a lull in something, it's like, okay, well, I went and did this day. Do we have it in the calendar already? And so, kind of just this really good working system to make sure that I kept pace with what I was actually doing and filming. And then, oftentimes, too, especially for like paid partnerships or different things, like I want to make sure I'm posting it at a good time and on the right timeline. The other thing with Canva, which I'm really excited to get into today, is it's so creative. I love Canva. It like just absolutely caters to my type A brain of like having structure and organization and different things, but it's so type B too. So what I've started doing, I started it out like a couple months ago, and I can showcase a few of my like previous calendars too. I started it pretty basic. Over the past few months, I've started really like getting into it and customizing it a lot more and making it a lot more fun and especially more seasonal by month too. But I really wanted to just kind of come in today and show you guys like what I do, how I do it, and just give you a little bit behind the scenes of how I operate and work. Okay, so giving you guys just a little bit of insight into what we're working with. Say hi to my fun little ring light up there. God, I've had that for years now and I love it. It's an OG for me. Anyways, back to what we're going to be doing today. So we are going to be working on my Canva board. So we're going to be setting it up. So just to give you guys a little bit of preview, this is what the July board looked like. And so what I like to do is I always keep this front page kind of like together for Polaroid. So I'm huge into just being very sentimental, honestly. I love coming in here and putting all of the things that have happened, just fun little updates, quick little snippets of just what happened that month. And so I always start off when I make a new board with a completely fresh one. I will leave the like kind of little fonts in here just because I mainly want to keep the same like font and stuff too. But I go through, and then as I start going through the month, I will then add in all the photos, add in their cutie little descriptions, and go from there. All right, and so once that has been updated and copied over, I then will go through and start kind of personalizing each page. So I went ahead, like I said, and pre-recorded some of this. So we're gonna jump into it right now. Okay, so I am going to jump back a tiny bit. So starting off with my July content recap, this is what I just, filmed a few days ago. And so with this, I am really taking you through everything. So we're going to start with duplicating just because I want the same format, kind of like basic layout. I literally do this every month at the start or end of each month. And so what we're doing here is we are just literally going to go kind of line by line and start editing everything. So like I told you guys, I'm very sentimental. I love having my Polaroids up at the front. And one of the things that I really want to do is just kind of use this as a fun way to keep track of everything I did. So like I said, I manually go through and update all of these and take all the little fun things out. This one, it looked like it was a little bit off kilter, so I guess I went in and edited that and made it a little bit more stable and a little bit more uniform. I've like messed around with this for so long. Like seriously, I've tried a couple of different things. I started off doing only a few Polaroids at a time, but I was like, no, I'm having way too much fun. Okay, so this is what I didn't get to show you guys. So I did not show you guys earlier kind of this fun setup that I have. And so this is what I started doing, like I said before, as a means to keep track of all of the things that I'm doing each month. So these are like, this is mainly just an events calendar for me, but then I go through and I break it down by what type of event it is. And so I also go through, it helps me organize everything. I wax seal stamp everything. So when the day is done, I'm like, boop, we put a stamp on that, it's over. Again, this is all just kind of like things I've slowly worked on and kind of tampered with over the month. And what we're doing right now and making this fun little like August cutie little background. I loved the stripes for July also, and I'm kind of sad to see them go, but I wanted to make it very cutesy, very fun. And so I go through and just personalize all of these things. I'm going to be so honest with you guys, screen recording this, I realize how much time I spend doing this and how long it takes me. So I sped up the next little bit just to like try and sort through and get you guys through this because wow, it is a lot. And you can see on screen It just keeps going. I spent so much time trying to do all this, ended up going searching on Pinterest trying to find stuff. And you just it's very eye-opening when you catch yourself doing so many things. But all this to say is I ended up trying to look for a cutie little gingham background. I wanted something cutie fun, navy. Navy's just way too dark though. I'm gonna be real. Like it's adorable, but like it's not working. And like I love the blue and the light stripes, but like yeah, I wanted something so I love the like textured pattern. I love that it was like a little bit hand drawn and fun. So again, here you guys are just enjoying my creative process of going on Pinterest and trying to find everything, trying to find all the inspo that I can. And finally, after what felt like forever, I did eventually find this really cute light gingham. So I found this other one, and you could see in the back I had a cute little saying on it. It didn't go well with what I was wanting, so I ended up going for just the plain basic one instead. I also tried out this bow, didn't didn't love it, so we went back to the basic gingham. After that, it was time to go ahead and update all of the fun things for this month. So, what I do is I go through again, literally copy paste. I make it very manual. Honestly, I like it. I think it's a lot of fun. And I can go through and like go back and see everything I did that month. So, you guys are also going to get to see a couple of the fun things I had going on and what are like I like to shoot for and stuff too. So, enjoy that. But what we're going to do now is switch this. So, as you guys can see up at the top, like July started kind of funky in the middle of the like late week. And so I always like to go through and actually update what the month like physically looks like in terms of like the 7-day week layout. Okay, and speeding it up a tiny bit more just because, again, it takes a good bit of time. It's manual. You guys aren't subject to all of that. And this is not me just fast, fast, fast clicking. So once we did that, it was time to update the actual days of the week for the month, get August set and ready, and then start looking at my own calendar, see what we have coming up, what brand activations, all the fun stuff is, all just the regular friend, fun, travel, everything. And that's where I get to start putting in all the things. One of my other most favorite things about customizing this is I love, 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 love going and making all of the fun little color coding details on the side here. So I've got a couple of different categories that I break my events down by. One thing I really like to do, because you guys know I weekly local every single week. And if you don't know, then you really should be following around Instagram because I'm going to new local coffee shops every single week. It's so fun. But I love trying to like actually always kind of make that like a little brown just because to me, when I go back and look at my calendar, it visually stands out. It's like, okay, Bailey, we're weekly localing today. This is the breakdown for that day, and we can just clearly see it. Other than that, I really like to kind of follow a little like color and pattern scheme. It doesn't like it just always kind of depends on what we're doing. I did one, oh my gosh, it wasn't July, maybe it was June. I did a like really beachy nautical theme one and I did a lot of like shells and different 3D elements on the page. It was so much fun. I'll link it and like show it here. But with that, I made it very colorful. But other ones I've done like kind of like a blue scheme or a purple or other fun stuff too. And so when I'm doing that, I like to try and make it like pretty cohesive down the line. Again, I don't want any of the colors to like not match, but just like not overshadow each other. And I also want to make sure that it's a color that I can like see and visibly like make sure it stands out, but then also like see the text on it as well too. And lastly, one of my favorite updates that I get to make to my calendar is the wax stamp. I don't know why, just forever ago when I started making this, I started putting wax stamps on. I'm a big wax stamp girl. I'm likely going to be doing them for my wedding invitations. I don't know. We're still going back and forth because I think I may have to pay extra. So either way, but I do have wax stamps. I do love trying to do them. And like each month I go through and I pick out a different wax stamp that is going to be the full like not background, but like it's what's going to be on the page. And so sometimes, and like Canva honestly has a really good list and like collection of wax stamps. You can also like make it, they've got the little like magic create thing. And so you can make your own and stuff. I've made my own sometimes, but like I love just trying to see what they already have too. And then I usually will scale it all the way down to about the same size as the one before. I've done some that are like oblong or like oval even, but essentially, I want it to fit and cover the box, but it's going to be stamped and stamped and stamped over and over again. So I want to make sure that it's repeatable and not too like bulky. I've had that on one of mine before and it just looks tacky and I didn't end up loving it by the end of the month. But for this one, I actually ended up finding this super, super cutie stamp. And I was really surprised with the white. So you've got that fun white going on in the background there. I didn't know if I would love it, but I actually ended up really, really liking this. And now that I'm a few days into August, I've been slowly stamping out my days. I can confirm it does look very cute and looks really good with all my stuff. And one of the things I also do as soon as I've got my wax stamp updated is I just like to take a step back and look at all the colors. Sometimes I don't end up liking them as much as I thought, so then this is the time I can see everything all together and then go through and update some of those colors. So we're gonna do that real quick. And once again, I'm clocking myself on how long it takes to actually do all of this stuff, let alone when you're filming it and doing it kind of at the same time too. So I hope you guys appreciate all the work that your creator friends and the people you follow put into it because it is a lot of work and we love it. And once everything is finally done and cohesive, we then get to start adding all the fun things together. Now, I'm adding a few things here. I had filmed a little bit more, but I don't know. I kind of am giving you guys a lot of a preview of what I do, how I do it, and even some of the things that I am doing and people that I'm working with. But I just kind of want you guys to follow along and stay for a little bit longer to see where we go. I will be a little bit more generous on with you guys is my inspo board. So right now we are going and updating and finding a photo that is going to live on the outside of the inspo page. And so this is going to be where my goals are. So this is one of the other pages that I have. And here I put my inspo pictures for the month. And then I also go through my goals for the month. One of the things I'm thinking about doing in these videos is actually going down the line and going through the goals and kind of like checking off together what we did, how we did it, all the fun stuff. But for right now, and for the purposes of this video, you guys can see what my July goals were. Can let you know I did hit almost all of them. I'm very proud of that. And then also these were some of my inspo pages. And so like not my inspo pages, but my inspo pictures. So one of the things I really love to do is go through and kind of just like based on what I'm doing that month, different things going on, I like to just give myself some like little creator inspo, especially if there's things that are trending or different things going on. I always like to go through and try and like mess around and see like what can I find and what's something that I could recreate. Also, you'll catch me in the background here trying to update the background. I thought I could, it just did not work. But here I've gone and found a few inspo pics. So these are things that I am currently working on or things that I want to shoot for. And so we're going through and updating for August. What are my goals? And like, not even just my goals for like my business, my content creation, but like, what are my shoot goals? What am I wanting to shoot for? And what are some fun ways I'm getting inspired? I can tell you guys pretty quick. So these are two of the photos I've got so far. The next one I am actually really excited to not only shoot for, but actually use it as inspo just for my work. So I'm trying to edit on my iPad a good bit more. Doing CapCut on there is actually really easy. I love having my pencil with it too, so that I can actually like be a little bit more precise with how I like break up the videos. Also, I'm going to Assateague in, oh my gosh, not next weekend, like this coming weekend, but the one after that. We're doing a fun little paid partnership staycation, just a slight plug for that, so stay tuned. But back to the iPad, I am actually going to shoot for this photo at this week's Weekly Local. I'm going to head over there tomorrow. I'm really excited. I might bring you guys along for a fun little like Weekly Local vlog. I think would be really cute. But anyways, stay tuned. And so I'm really trying to edit a lot more on my iPad, but I just love the shot in general too. I think it's just so fun and like such a cool like layout for the Weekly Local and just kind of gets like the content creator vibe. So I loved that. We've got the Assateague sign. I really want to get a cutie picture of that and then also with that for my content. And then we've got a fun little spa day. Okay, and also this cutie little pink photo. I've saved this a couple times and I really need to do it because I think it's just adorable. It's cute little duck lips face. Then you put your glasses over. I think it's adorable. Also, one of the things I want to point out in the top corner, again, I love stamps. I have this cutie little just on theme, on brand August stamp. I put it on almost all of the pages, but not every single one. But when I finally want to go over with you guys is the inspo page. So I always go through each month and then duplicate the inspo page because then this is my work in progress. So you can go down the line, see what we did, check off everything. I go over photo by photo and then actually like put in what's the inspo and then what was the actual result that I got. To me, it's one of my favorite things to do retroactively. And then now all that's left to do is go ahead, get this page copied, pasted, get it set up for August. I will be going through and adding all my personal goals a little bit separately and off camera. We'll check back in on them in September, I promise. We're going to go ahead, get this all updated, and then we are ready to start our month. We've got it all planned, and then we'll work on Notion next. All right, you guys, I have just finished filming all of the fun stuff for this video, the finalized screen recordings. I've got everything set up for my fun Canva board. We've got it all ready, filled out with all of my current August plans. Anything that comes up, I always will go through, one, add it to my actual calendar, which we can talk about again at another time. But for now, I've got everything in Canva ready to go. Like I said, I will transition this over to Notion. Typically, kind of my rule of thumb is I will go put it on my day, like have it set up. So like for a Friday evening dinner, for example, and then typically I give it about a week. It's enough time for myself to get things together. Sometimes it's done earlier, sometimes not, and that's fine. But typically about a week is when I'm posting my content, about a few days later. But for now, I'm going to leave you guys with this. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Again, this is like my bread and butter. This is what I started doing last year, and it has been so sincerely helpful to me. One, as someone who is very creative and loves to think outside of the box and, do all these different things and just really creatively self-express at the end of the day. I know not a lot of people are seeing this. I mean, you guys are because you're watching this video, but it really just helps me so much with like tapping into that creative side of my brain, because on the flip side of it is it's very organizing. So it feeds into the type A side of me that's very much like, okay, we need to get organized. What's going on? What's happening when, where, why, and how? And so having those two blend together just for me as a person has been so rewarding and also just so much fun. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed it. I know this is a different type of video. I am slowly but surely working on these. We're going to be trying different things with microphones, all the different stuff to make sure it actually goes, flows, sounds, and looks just how I want it to look. But for now, I really hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!